what I'm finding interesting today, the whole thing I did about measurement and the evils of it. Well, this morning I realized in regard to running that whether or not I learned things about what I might want to do with running, there is insight. Measurement can be used for insight. What I noticed was going slower gets a slower time. Going slower with stops. Going faster gets a faster time. And so in my mind I'm thinking, because I've always felt this way, right? I know it's nothing new, it's just new to me. But going faster with a bunch of stops feels like crap. But it actually gets you a faster time. So I guess I'm questioning. My gut is telling me that it's awful. So does my gut need to learn that awful feeling and know that it's better? Or if that really was my goal, did I need measurement to help get me there? So then I started thinking about if I always saw that measurement myself, how sometimes that's really defeating and you give up. So then I started thinking about expert individual tutors and human filters. And I'm sure that's where we got to all this assessment business. But I think of huge importance is this continual feedback loop, the 24/7-ness of the human filter, or me filtering my own, measuring or not measuring, but taking note and paying attention to the moment and to what's going on, the emergence of things. So then I'm reading this group on Facebook about crickets and their continual, perpetual conversation, communication. And am excited about, that's what George Bernard Shaw and Chimamanda talks about. There's never just one story, so how do you keep up with all the stories? Well, you're just perpetually in conversation. Everything's a conversation. That's what I see the web allowing. Kids who used to be held up in classes for 90 minutes, no connection to the outside world, can now have that connection and move on. Or they're in a family reunion, or they're whatever. That feeling of always being connected is in us. So how do we facilitate and acknowledge and participate in an ongoing conversation? Communication. It's not just writing, it's not just reading, it's not just talking, it's all these things. And so then I got into the whole waves and the fourier, shortening and scrunching this sine and cosine waves so you can fit more. So how do we... Our minds are going like crazy, even in our sleep, which was interesting. In our sleep, it kind of calms us down. Helps us not focus on the negative. So how do we take all this mounds and mounds of data and use Fourier or use the scrunching or whatever of the waves? So we can get more in, and then randomly or take out how can we be each other's human filter, I guess, using tech. It's very intriguing. I think we're getting there. A lot going on in my head, which is case in point. I mean, there's a lot going on in everyone's head. How do we Okay, so now I'm thinking Omer and Assange, and how that's just one example, how we spend so much energy on one thing. What if instead we spent more energy on things that really matter to us, because we talk to ourselves every day and decided what mattered? So what if we do that and we hear more stories? Because it's interesting, even people that want to get along don't. I'm all over the place. I love that I'm living what I'm studying. Praxis.